the years before I met you, I spent a lot of time and energy trying to make my life and the world around me make sense, to fit myself into some well-defined category, to rationalize all the things I didn't understand. And as hard as I tried, I didn't get very far. What I love most about you is that you make no sense. In falling in love with you, I've constantly been reminded that life is bigger and stranger and more complex and more beautiful than I'll ever be able to understand. You're elegant and beautiful, yet approachable and gracious. You're funny, you're charming and charismatic with just the right amount of snark. I love your inner confidence, your strength of conviction, and your personal integrity. You're the exact same person whether we're in class together, celebrating a holiday with family, spending time with friends, or at work. I love that you're strong and that you're not swayed by circumstance. But at the same time, somehow, you manage to be the gentlest, sweetest, and most caring person I know. You love me very well. And that brings me to the most mysterious thing about you. You chose me, and that you've decided to promise today that you'll continue to choose me and to choose us forever. I'm not sure that I fully comprehend why, to be honest. That you chose me feels wholly unmerited, like a blessing that I can't fully explain. But I promise you that every day, beginning today, I will work my absolute hardest to vindicate that choice, to make your happiness my happiness, and your dreams my dreams, to choose our priorities over my own, to set myself aside, especially when I'd rather not to, and to love you faithfully. I can't wait to marry you.
Our marriage course through the church, we learned that marriage is a covenant, a sacrament, and a vocation. The first two were familiar concepts to me, but the third was a new one. I had never thought of marriage as a vocation. That is, a calling or purpose that we were born into and that we fulfill by loving and supporting our spouse daily. So as I was thinking about marriage in this new light, it clicked for me that John has treated our relationship as his vocation for several years now. The first time I met John at Stony Creek Brewery during law school orientation, I took one look at him and his chiseled jawline and thought, wow, that man was born to be my husband. But on a more serious note, the first time John told me that he wanted to marry me was on the way home from my Uncle Ronnie's funeral, which was at this church, actually. We'd only been dating a few months at that point, so the way that John dropped everything to come by my side and support me and my family in that difficult time was very reassuring. On the drive home, I started thinking to myself, I don't need to look any further for the right person. And at that same moment, John leaned over to me and said, I'm gonna marry you one day, okay? Conversations after that quickly turned to the topic of future plans and career ambitions. John had a PhD when I met him and aspirations of publishing articles and maybe one day becoming a professor. I wanted to be a lawyer and clerk for a judge and hoped that sooner or later, but mostly sooner, I would wind back up in California. Balancing all of these goals while also merging my life with someone else felt overwhelming to me, and I told John that, and I'll never forget his response. We'll just choose to put our relationship first, and then everything else will follow. John is the most selfless, compassionate, and determined person I know. And I'm humbled daily by the way he makes loving me his vocation. John, you are my greatest gift, my best friend, and my partner in everything. I love every single part of you, and I'm so happy to be standing here with you today.